Okay, it's the big game. It's the Vikings and the Kansas City Chiefs tomorrow in the late window. Um, no one's given us a shot. I mean, the line isn't too huge, but no one's given us a shot. I don't know if we deserve a shot, but we're going to take one. You know, we're sitting at 1-3. We're two back in the division. Detroit, I believe, is playing Carolina at home tomorrow, so Detroit's probably going to win. So, as far as still holding out hope for any division race, if you lose, you're three back. Now we still have all these games against Green Bay and Detroit, but you don't want to be in a position where you got to sweep those games either. So, what's the stories of the week? Well, one is that there maybe are going to be some changes on the offensive line. I guess Reisner was again working with the first team. I guess even Blake Brandel was working with the first team a little bit. I didn't really anticipate the possibility that there could be multiple changes on the offensive line, and I guess they're still at least talking positively about Ed Ingram. I guess his run blocking grades have been good, if for whatever those are worth. Is this going to be the game we make changes? I don't know. Garrett Bradbury is, I don't believe is even on the injury report anymore, so he's probably going to be back. And we'll see how that goes. I mean, I really don't know that they've missed him very much. It feels like Schlotman's been okay, but it sounds like Bradbury will be back. Injury wise, we're pretty good. We don't have anybody listed out. We've got some questionables. Davenport is questionable. He's probably gonna be questionable a year. But hey, we're off the ripping Marcus Davenport train for a while because he was out there last week and played really well, made some big plays. And I don't know if there were any other major guys on the injury report. I mean, Lewis Seen, but he's not major. Giving up on him. But you're going in pretty healthy. And you got the monkey off the back of getting the first win. You don't have to worry about that. You get to play as a big underdog at home. I don't know when the last time was that the Vikings were like a big underdog at US Bank Stadium. It's probably been quite a while. There's probably like a Packer game in there somewhere, maybe where they came in as big favorites. But I imagine there'll be a lot of Chiefs fans there because it's a 7 or 8 hour drive from KC to Minnesota or to Minneapolis. What other news of the week? Oh, the one that pissed me off. I don't have time to do Kirk Cousins arrangement syndrome videos every single time something pisses me off. But he went to the Twins game with his family on the team's off day on Tuesday, and he's getting ripped for it. Because he's not committed to the Vikings. He's not putting all of his focus on the game. I mean, it's astonishing that people can still honestly say that. And even if they're saying it just for clicks, well, they're still saying it. And I mean, it's absolute crap. Like, it's the off day. He's got a couple of kids. He's got a family. He's got an off day, and he goes to a baseball game for a couple of hours. Like, that's not going to be the difference between if the Vikings win or lose on Sunday. It's madness. The links to which people will go to trash Kirk Cousins over the stupidest shit. It's an off day. It's a team off day. No one else would ever get ripped like this. Nobody. It's absolutely unbelievable. But yeah, that really irritated me. Fuck Phil Mackey. And fuck Mike Florio too. But so I don't know if there weren't really any news stories. Well, we signed Tanner Morgan to the practice squad. That got people talking a little bit. I mean, it's just because they're like Nick Mullins is banged up a little bit. So just in case they had to rule him out for a game. I don't know how the hell Nick Mullins is getting banged up. He's just practicing. But, just in case, and Taron Morgan's probably just in town because, I don't know, he probably lives in town after going to the U for about 10 years. These guys are going to get their asses handed to them tonight. I can guarantee you that. The Vikings have a much better chance at winning tomorrow than these guys do at winning tonight. Now watch me be wrong about both of those. We'll see if they, we'll see what they do with the offensive line. We'll see if they work in Cam Akers again a decent amount. And we'll see what Brian Flores does with the defense because, as everyone's been saying, like this blitz thing, that sometimes is going to work. It ain't going to work against Patrick Mahomes. And maybe nothing's going to work against Patrick Mahomes. I mean, just as a football fan, I'm excited to see him play in person for the first time. He's never played here before. We've never played him because he was out when we played him in 2019, and we still lost to Chad Henne. Just as a football fan, I'm looking forward to seeing him play in person, and he's amazing. I mean, like there's no, this isn't breaking news that Patrick Mahomes is an incredible football player. Like he might end up going down as the greatest quarterback, greatest football player of all time. I mean, he's led him to a couple rings. I mean, they've at least hosted a conference championship game every single year. He's been the starter. Numbers like crazy. Just an incredible quarterback, and there really isn't a defense for him. I mean, he didn't play that great last week. They played at the Jets, and he threw a couple of picks. The Jets have a better defense than we do. Obviously, I don't expect us to slow down the Chiefs' offense at all. Maybe you can get a couple turnovers. Maybe Mahomes gets a little loosey-goosey with the football, and you can get a couple turnovers. If the Vikings have a chance to win this game, they got to score, and they got to have their best offensive game of the year. They can't be they can't be doing any more turnovers in the red zone. Probably no turnovers. Period. They got to take advantage of every possession and score, and probably score touchdowns. And I hope KOC is calling the game that way. I hope he is calling the game as if they need to not ball control. There's none of this ball control stuff. You're not going to ball control your way to a win. You got to score. You got to score points in bunches. If it means you're scoring quick and your defense is out there a little longer, well, so be it. But you got to score. If they don't score at least in the mid-30s, I don't think they have a chance to win this game at all. And maybe they'll be motivated. Maybe they will be extra motivated. I think their best game probably of the season, except for the run defense, was the game in Philly against the best opponent so far. And, maybe they'll, I don't, it's too early to accuse this team of playing like to the level of their competition, but if they, maybe they'll play up to the competition this week and really make this a game. I would be pretty surprised if we got blown out. I mean, obviously we're not going to blow them out. I'd be pretty surprised if this is a blowout either way. I think it'll at least be, a fairly competitive, high-scoring game. I don't think the Vikings are going to win. I mean, it's just very, very hard to see how this defense can help get us a win against this team and this quarterback. It's hard to picture it happening. But it wouldn't be the biggest upset in the history of football. I mean, now Detroit beat them. Of course, Detroit beat them without Kelsey and without Chris Jones. So it wasn't the same Chiefs team that's coming in here. But so we got to face the whole squad, and it's going to be tough. I hope we win. This would be an enormous win. We've kind of kicked away a couple of wins already that we should have had that we didn't get. So now we probably got to pick up a win or two where people aren't expecting it. And, we got another one in a couple weeks with the 49ers coming in here. It's like, and the schedule eases up kind of once we get past like that 49er game in a few weeks. The schedule does ease up. You can start stacking some W's, but if you're starting that off like 1-5 or 2-5 or something, you're really chasing the wins. But yeah, I mean, my official pick is I think the Chiefs are going to win. I think it's going to be something in the neighborhood of like, I don't know, 38-31, something like that. I think I hope at least if that does work out that way, I hope it's at least a game where, you know, they kind of beat us straight up, and it's not just we're turning the ball over in stupid situations and giving it to them. But yeah, so that's officially my pick, and I hope the Vikings win. And hey, kudos to me for making it through this entire video without once mentioning Taylor